There it is.
Hey there, welcome, Curt and Jen in the morning. This is our podcast. Appreciate you being here as always. And we encourage you to like, to follow, and to subscribe, right?
Yes, we want you to do all the things that engage with us on your platform in which you consume our podcast. It would help greatly, and we would appreciate it so much.
And while you're consuming the podcast, keep in mind, no calories. Consume all that you want.
That's right.
All right.
Welcome to Good Friday, Curt. Lent ended yesterday, so you can go back to eating sugar, drinking, and swearing.
So I do think it's funny that some people are like, for Lent, I'm not going to swear. It's like, okay. Although that does take some effort, I suppose.
It would for me.
Here we go. Today on the show, a bunch of Easter stuff to share with you. Also, would you go to space? Would you go to space if you could afford it?
Cities with the most and least affordable rents. Believe it or not, Seattle is on that list. It's National Park Week too.
We have stuff about that. We also have the things you're sharing. You shared things you would never buy, even if it was on sale for 99.99% off. Basically, if it was free, you still wouldn't get it.
Yeah. We have the most overpriced menu items and this year's most influential people. Of course, it's Fun Facts Friday. All that and more on the Curt and Jen in the Morning podcast. Here we go.
Yay. I just want to see if anybody else can relate to this.
I don't know if I should be nervous. It says Curt MIL. So tell us your mother-in-law story.
Well, she's a fine, fine lady. Seriously. I feel very happy to have married into a family with a great mother-in-law that I have.
So there's a little precursor, so he's not in trouble.
That's right. Yesterday, I went over to her house. She actually rents my wife's old house, so she stays there, and of course, we're in the other house. That's too much information. Went over there to help her out. She wants to take the top off of the RV, the covers. Like, okay, great, I'll go over there and do that. Although she tends to usually have a few other things in mind, like, well, while you're here, those three words. Well, while you're here. So yesterday, I didn't get a while you're here. She said, oh, and she showed that she had a box. She had just bought a fire pit, like a 30-inch fire pit. It was still in a box.
Yes.
And so she said these words, I'd hate to have you stay here today and put this together. So you can just take it to your house and put it together there. It's like, is there a third option? Like, I don't put it together at all, which of course I'm going to do. But I just thought it was funny. Why don't you have to put it together here? So I suppose you can just take it home and put it together. I was like, I never even knew that this thing existed 2 minutes ago.
And why would you take it home only to lug it back put together?
I think that she thought that would be, it was a nice day yesterday, and I didn't want to be staying over at her place all day long. So I just thought it was funny that it was just this assumed thing, which of course I'm going to do. It's interesting though when people just say, well, yeah, you just do that. It's like, okay. So I will be putting together a fire pit this weekend at my very own house because that was one of my two choices.
With you?
Yeah. It's not as big as it sounds.
I would have just done it there and gotten it done with.
I didn't want to take another, I don't know, half hour out of my day to be over there.
That's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so that was the only thing. And again, very nice lady. I just thought it was funny that I didn't have a third option of, hey, maybe I don't do this at all. Of course, I'm going to do it for that.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppity, Easter's on its
I wondered when you were going to join in, Jen.
I know it. I was just letting the singer sing the things.
So there's only
Easter
one time
stuff.
a year you hear that song, and it's Halloween. No, that's not right. Easter is Sunday. So we've got a bunch of fun Easter stats to share with you right now. And this first one, I think, is kind of funny that just over half of adults would love to compete in an Easter egg hunt, but they feel like it's just something for kids.
I totally would want to.
Would you like me to come to your place and put little plastic eggs around your yard?
If you would, that would be great. I want you to hide them, though. Like, I want to try to really find them.
I think that's your boyfriend's job, first of all. So I'll pass it along to Pat. And you don't want it to be too hard to find because then come August or September, you're mowing the lawn and you chop up an egg that you didn't find.
That's true, because there's usually like I put money in it for the girls, and I'm not doing candy. I have to get creative. I don't know what else. Probably like some hair ties and stuff to hide the eggs for them.
Not candy.
Can I share with you something that I saw on social media that I thought was brilliant for an egg hunt?
Absolutely. I want to hear.
So there was this table and they had different gift cards, cash, like a whole bunch of different prizes. And the prize was spelled out with blocks, like squares with the letters in it. And
Mhm.
so when you went to find an egg, a letter would be in that egg. And you'd have to run back to the table before you found another egg, put your letter down on one of the prizes and keep going. And then the person that completed, like was the last letter of that prize, got that prize.
Nice.
That's brilliant. And I'm gonna try that. Not this year because I can't afford it, but maybe next year.
Oh, you saw this on the interwebs. This is not something you saw in person?
No, on social media. And I thought, like, what a great way to do an egg hunt.
Sure. The
Yeah,
kids get
there
a
you
little
go.
more, they have to think a little bit more, I guess, right?
And be strategic, right? Where are you gonna
Sure.
place that E because you want a certain prize?
Got it. Okay. Well, you can't do that for yourself. You can't hide the eggs for
I
yourself and
get
then
it. Give us the stats.
get the prizes. 6 and 10 adults would like to get their own Easter basket. Jen?
Yes.
All right. 80% of parents admit to stealing candy from their kids each year, which that's probably a low number.
My kids,
80%.
you know what, Curt? My kids don't even want candy in their basket this year. They're like,
I think I read that the most popular thing to put in Easter baskets, well, actually, what we have that next. The most common Easter basket items are chocolate bunnies and eggs, jelly beans and Peeps. But it also went on to say the most wanted thing in Easter baskets is gift cards.
well, crap.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna
what
write
are you
that.
thinking? They don't want candy. What do they want?
Well, I tried to be creative, but now I'm gonna write that down actually. I need to go get a gift card or two. Hold on, I gotta get a pen. Okay,
No,
keep
huh?
going. See, we learn so much during this podcast.
The
Seriously.
most popular Easter candy in 2025, might be surprised, it's not Peeps. It is Reese's peanut butter eggs. Got about a quarter of the vote. Chocolate Easter bunnies were in there. Cadbury cream eggs was number 3. Jelly beans number 4, and Robin eggs. You know those? They look like they're kind of Whoppers, malted milk balls. Those. That's number 5 most popular. Peeps ranked 6th.
This is AKA Robin's Eggs is AKA lipstick candy. Because
Oh,
I'm gonna do it right now while we keep going. I'm gonna show you. I
all right.
like blue the best. I definitely like blue.
I thought that the things you were talking about, you said there was lipstick candy, were designed to be that way. Are they designed to be lipsticks?
Look, I have blue lips now.
And blue teeth. Enjoy. How do you eat a chocolate bunny, Jen? Where
Ears
do you
first.
start? Ears first?
Yeah.
That's like 75% of people start with the ears.
I don't know why you
16% go feet first, and 6% of these twisted human beings start with the butt. I guess you should say the tail.
There's so many places I could go with that, but I'm not going to.
The White House Easter egg roll will have 30,000 eggs this year included.
30,000?
Yeah, the American Egg Board has been donating them for like 5 decades, for like 50 years every year. And finally, we'll spend $24 billion on Easter in 2025. It says when you factor in everything like eggs, candy, gifts, and clothes, the average spend is $189.
I have something to say about Easter real quick.
Is it that 180 of those dollars are for eggs?
Probably.
For a dozen? Okay, what do you have to say?
Well, I was going to say something about that. I was FaceTiming with one of my friends last night, and
Mhm.
I was showing him the eggs that we had decorated.
Okay.
We decorated eggs, and he's like, "Oh my God, you decorated eggs at the price of eggs? No way." I'm like, "Yeah, I decorated eggs. It's a family tradition." Yes, we did.
Right. You didn't decide to go with the potatoes that some people were saying were just as good as eggs?
Or marshmallows. Marshmallows was another one that was super popular.
How about this for a song here?
Why that song?
That's a bunny hop.
Pop, pop, pop. Okay. Okay, now I get it. Okay, what's the deal?
Well, the deal is, again, nice little Eastery song. The question basically is, this is not our question of the day, but would you try a hot dog where the bun was made of Peeps?
No.
Would you try it?
Here's the thing about Peeps. I like
What's
one of
what's
them.
the thing?
I like one of them once or twice a year, maybe one at Christmas, maybe one at Easter, maybe. And I try microwaving it, which makes it a little better. But having it wrapped around like massively processed meat, I don't think so.
Well, do you have an issue with the massively processed meat?
I
Period.
have
Would
an
you have a
issue
hot dog
with
at all?
I have an issue with both because if if I'm having a stick of massively processed meat, I'm
Mhm.
putting like massively yummy things on it like condiments and stuff, and then you put sugary marshmallowy stuff as a bun.
Well, if you want to get this, you'd have to go to Massachusetts anyway, so you're in luck there. It's a little place called Lexi's Road Dogs have been trying it out. Apparently, a radio host in Westport, stopped by and gave them a 9.1 out of a 10 for the
What?
Peeps Bun hot dogs.
Now,
I don't see.
is the hot dog really a hot dog or is it like something else?
It says a hot dog. What do you mean? Is it something else?
Well, I don't know because sometimes they call it a hot dog and it's like I'm trying to think of what it could be. Like it's a skewer of I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe it's an Easter bunny, like a chocolate hot dog. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's a looks like a hot dog, but it's chocolate.
No, I think that this restaurant called Lexi's Road Dogs just sells hot dogs.
Okay.
It's a hot dog with 5 yellow peeps as the bun. There, that's all I know about it. So 5 yellow peeps. That seems like that'd be very difficult to. I guess the hot dog would melt into the peeps a little bit to sort of hold them in place, right?
I guess I'm looking up a picture. I think we can all look up the picture. I would just Google it.
Okay. Have we spent way too much time on this subject?
Yeah, it's time to move on.
I kind of figured. I
you
kind of
move
figured
on
as
while I
much.
look
The
up the
best
picture.
things in life for free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money. That's what I want.
Money, 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 money.
That's what I want.
Here's a story that you've dropped in here, Jen, which may hit close to home a little bit. What are you talking about?
Sorry, I went away because I looked up the peep thing. It indeed is a hot dog, and it looks really gross. The most and least affordable rent in the U.S. cities. There's a website that made the list of the American cities with the most affordable rent, and here we go. They analyzed the median annual rent, gross rent in more than 180 cities. Okay, so there's 180 cities, and then compared it to the median household income.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to list a handful of them. Most affordable: North Bismarck, North Dakota, followed by Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Cheyenne, Wyoming. Are we seeing a trend here in the most affordable rents in Middle America?
Yep. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Familiar with it. Fargo, North Dakota.
Charleston, West Virginia. That's affordable. On the list though of affordable rent, which is blowing my mind, but it didn't get listed until number 26, is Seattle. What?
They're on that list along with things like Juneau, Alaska, and Overland Park, Kansas. So number 26 is Seattle. That doesn't seem right.
It's the first major city on the list. I don't
The
know
least
how
affordable cities.
Here's what I believe to be true. Maybe if they're looking at just Seattle, right? The income in Seattle, because it's a tech city, could be high. So the techies bring the median income, probably way up.
Yeah, but the people that aren't in tech are still trying to afford the crazy
That's
rents
right.
here.
That's
The least
truly.
affordable cities for the rent, by the way. So the most expensive ones are Miami, Newark, New Jersey, New Haven, Connecticut, Detroit,
You
and
used to
Glendale,
live there?
California.
You used to live in Detroit.
I don't know why the rent would be so expensive there. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe again with that formula, maybe the average income is low enough that even though the rents aren't that high, it still made this list.
That's the only thing I can think of. That's it for that.
We're not dissing anybody. We're just wondering out loud,
Yeah.
right?
What we do, we wonder out loud. That's a good one, Curt. That's
Wonder out loud.
wondering out loud.
Thank you, Will Ferrell.
For the Star Trek theme.
That's right.
Would you go to space if you could afford it? I say yes, 100%. What do you say?
Well, I will tell you before the story's done. How's that?
All right.
Because you recently, of course, Katy Perry and Gayle King and Jeff Bezos' girlfriend or fiance Lauren Sanchez all went to space this week. they got ridiculed for it, and I don't want to go there because, you know, there's some people saying this is a waste of money and this is just a photo op. And if you really want to, because they were touting it as, oh, go women, you know. And somebody pointed out, like, what about all the women that already work for NASA that are getting their jobs cut or having a hard time or whatever? So,
I mean, yeah, there's that. You can always
but
make anything political for sure.
let's say this poll, basically the question was, would you go to space if money was no object? Most Americans said no.
Why?
Only about a third of Americans said yes, 31%, 55% said no way, and 14% said maybe. Well, maybe I think that probably they think it's too risky.
Okay.
Would you go parachuting now because you have kids? Well, your kids are older. If you have young kids and you do something dangerous,
Is this weird that I would not want to jump out of an airplane, but I would 100% go to space?
I don't know which. I suppose space travel might be the safer option. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think that's probably a big part of it. Is they say it's too risky. Some people said it's too bad for the environment, or they're just not interested. I would say I would absolutely go, given the chance. I think that would be a really like a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't know if I'd come back down like Katy Perry and kiss the earth after my 11-minute ride.
I
I
mean,
did think that was kind of funny. They're talking about those poor astronauts who were stranded up there for months and months and months, and then Katy Perry goes up there for 11 minutes. Oh,
that was dramatic.
yeah. Well, you know,
Only
again,
10% of Americans think Katy Perry can call herself an astronaut now. I mean, I wonder what the true definition of an astronaut is. Just someone that's been to space? Because if
that's
that's
what
the
I'm saying.
case, then
It's not a
she is.
it's not a couple hours of training and then 11 minutes, and not even like space. I think they were what 30 miles up, which is certainly way up there. But
I know. Yeah.
all
All
right,
right.
okay, all right.
I popped this in here, Curt, because I thought it was interesting. The most overpriced menu items. So when you're at a restaurant,
You know what? And I'm glad you did, because for the longest time I've said, you know, you go to a restaurant not because, I mean, hopefully because you like the food, but also it's the ambiance and stuff like that. I always thought, I'm going to say before we even do the story, that breakfast food, I'm like, so I'm sitting here, I'm having 2 eggs, a piece of sausage, you know, 2 pieces of bacon, and some toast. And that's $14 or $15 or
I
$20.
mean, you're lucky if you're paying $13 or $14 for that.
Well,
Right
this
now,
is back
it's
in
like
the day
$18.
when I was thinking about this. I was like, this has got to be the most jacked up price. This has got to be on breakfast food. So I guess we'll see. What does the story say?
That is on the list. It's number 2 on the list. Egg dishes. Even though people are freaking out about the egg prices, it's still a ripoff.
Right. Always has been.
Chips and salsa is number 1 on the list. I still think that there's many restaurants that give those complimentary if you're at a Mexican restaurant, but if you have to pay for it, they're saying don't do it. It's a waste of your money. Chips and salsa for real. Like, you could literally go down to Fred Meyer right now, buy a bag of Juanitas, which to me is the best tortilla chip out there.
That's like $2.99.
Well, I would say more like, if it's not on sale, probably like $4-ish.
Oh, okay.
And then some salsa, what, maybe, I don't know. How much is salsa? Like $5?
Well, let me just jump in here and say that I'm going to do a little plug for Azul, because I think that's the best salsa and therefore the best chips and salsa in the city.
Okay. All right.
In the region.
Other things on the list, I'm just going to go down the list. Simple sandwiches like PB&J or grilled cheese. People charge a lot of money for grilled cheese sandwiches, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now?
Yes.
Wedge salads, because it's just iceberg lettuce, which is 96% water and super cheap.
And I love the iceberg, or the little wedge salad. I don't know why. It's like, it's just a salad with a bunch of dressing on it. Give it to me.
Baked potatoes, pancakes, and wine. They say, you know what, pre-funk at home, drink the wine. I would say make sure you get an Uber then. But they're like, don't pay the prices you need to pay in restaurant for wine.
That, you know what, in particular, you're right. And that would be, how's this for a real quick thing? If you go out with a bunch of friends, right? And then you don't drink any wine or any alcohol at all, and then the bill comes and they say, let's just split it 4 ways. And you're like, you know what? $100 of this is alcohol. I don't think I should have to be part of that. I had a friend that actually asked me about this. This is not me making this up. So, oh, it was me. So what do you do? I mean, I think because I have been out with people where they're like, well, we'll take care of the drinks and we'll split the rest of it 4 ways or whatever.
Yeah. I think that there's either that or you don't pay any of the gratuity at all. That doesn't necessarily make up for it, but at least helps to simplify paying the bill. But yeah, it's frustrating when you're not drinking. That's happened to me a lot of times.
Yep,
I don't drink, and everyone else has had 2 drinks. And
No fair.
And it's $30 a person. You know what I mean?
She ain't for it. Mm-mm.
I'm not for it.
You will be popular. You're gonna be popular. There's nothing that
Nothing?
can stop you from
Why are you playing
becoming
that song, though?
popular.
Because we're going into a story about America's 10 most popular national parks.
Oh, okay. KKK.
Did you recognize it?
Yes, I knew the song. But I was
Okay,
like,
good. You're looking at me like, what the hell
well,
is
because
this?
you know what? I wasn't looking at the headline. I was looking at the story about national parks. And I'm like, why is he playing popular for national parks?
The most popular national
Hey,
park.
go ahead. Go ahead, Curt Cruz.
Real quick, National Park Week kicks off tomorrow. Hooray, hooray. So entry fees are being waived on the first day. So that's tomorrow. Meaning you can go to our wonderful national parks for free. So they have here the top 10 most popular national parks. One of ours made the list. Number 1 is the Great Smoky Mountains in North Carolina and Tennessee. That kind of surprises me, but very popular with Midwesterners.
Okay.
Zion National Park in
Ooh,
Utah, Grand Canyon National Park. Also, Yellowstone is on there, Rocky Mountain National Park, and Olympic National Park in Washington State.
Okay.
But then again, the 3 least visited national parks, or one of them is in Washington. That's North Cascades National Park. Have you even been there?
I mean, I've been to the North Cascades. I don't know if I've been to the actual park, though. I don't know.
All right. Well, lots of options. And again, starting tomorrow, I think tomorrow, yeah, it did say that tomorrow was the only day that you'd be able to get the free entry. But go to your national parks.
I really want to go to Glacier National Park in Montana. That made the top 10 too.
Okay. We'll do that. Road trip, right?
If you're lucky enough to be getting a tax return,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you're wondering what you're going to do with that money.
A lot of people are not wondering. I think a lot of people are like, okay, I'm going to pay bills.
Well, that's a smart thing to do. I was going to say these are the top things that you should do with consider doing with your tax return to be smart with your money.
Would you say that those are the most popular things to do with your tax return?
I would.
Be popular. You're
Okay.
It's really more about being smart with your money. That there's a senior writer for CNN Business posted this list of smart things to do with your tax refund. Number 1 on the list was what you said: pay off a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
The average APR rate, which I did not realize, is 20% right now.
Oof.
So you're paying yourself 20% back because you're not having to pay the interest on if you can pay it off. Start an emergency fund, which is always smart to have. If you don't, I mean, some people can't, but if you can, invest it because stock prices are down right now. So this is a good time to buy some stock. And then the last thing is buy something that might cost more later. If money's not too tight, think about spending your refund on something that might go up in price soon, especially with all the tariffs.
Or buy fun stuff for yourself. Is that on the list?
That is not Curt Cruz. So we're talking about smart things to do with your money.
Okay. Speaking of money,
this got a little political, which I guess I should have expected, but
you know what? I was surprised when I saw the answers too, that it kind of went that way. Just so people know, we were not planning this to take that kind of a turn. The question of the day from Wednesday: what's something you would never buy, even if it was on sale for 99.99% off? A lot of these answers I do like very much, but it did take a bit of a turn.
I do too. Jenny said ketchup because she must hate ketchup.
Right. I'm going to assume that all the people that said these things hate these items because Tracy said Peeps.
Yeah.
Peeps.
Sonia said broccoli or cherries. I think Sonia said that. I can't remember. I remember reading some of these last night, but that might be because they upset her tummy.
Yes. Popcorn. Who doesn't like popcorn? You know who doesn't like popcorn? Melissa.
Melissa's not paying. She's not going to pay any US dollars or cents for popcorn.
Here is a list of 6 people that all had the same answer. So this would be Andrea, Jan, Ken, Vic, Debbie, and Shirley. No matter if it was offered 99.99% off, they would not buy a Tesla.
Well, Kate, Lisa, Carrie, and Jen are 100% not buying a Cybertruck, no matter how on sale it is. Listen, here's the thing about that. If a Cybertruck was on sale for 99.99% off, I would buy one. I don't like them, but I would buy one.
just because you need a vehicle and it would cost you like $1.
That's right. That's right.
Rebecca, her things that she would never buy, no matter how inexpensive it was any grape flavored foods like grape soda,
Yeah.
candies, I guess. And then Brad, to me, this is like very far apart because he went with candy corn, which I do like. And then the second one was liver.
I
So
would
to me,
never
that's
buy
like
liver either.
opposite ends of the spectrum.
That's a good one. Okay. Andrea and Lauren said mushrooms. Marilyn said tequila. Here's another. Didn't someone else say? Yeah. Anne said Brussels sprouts, and Margot said a snake.
Well, Anne is correct with Brussels sprouts. Snakes, I don't think I'd buy a snake. Well, I don't have anything against snakes, but you have to have a big aquarium for it and everything. They're not too cuddly.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
TC also said candy corn. He put a sickly looking face there with it as well. And James, cigarettes. Good answer. If you don't
I
smoke,
love that answer. I was like, oh, duh, of course not. That is like, that would be on the top of my list.
Right. More things you said that you wouldn't buy even if it was 99% off. Unflavored rice cakes is what Steve says. Yeah, not great. Here we go again with Tiger, and Patrick said a MAGA hat. Would never buy one of those, even if it was free.
Susie said jewelry. Phil said a Chrysler product. What's this other one? A Stellantis?
I've not heard of that. I guess it's a Chrysler product.
Yeah.
Jennifer went with 3 cigarette snakes and tarantulas. Specific spider. Would not get a tarantula.
I think Jennifer times 2. There was another Jennifer that said cigarettes.
Okay.
Gary said licorice. Dan said a Trump product of any kind. But I liked this one. Becky said a University of Oregon clothing. And I thought to myself, well, I was going to reply. And I think I did reply to her. And I said, well, I would never buy WSU stuff, Washington State University things, because I'm a UWM, right? And that's our rival. But I'm like, but wait a second. I have a lot of friends that went to WSU. So if it was on that much of a sale, I would get it for them.
Just a real quick story. When I moved here from Detroit back in 2001, right away to, I guess because I wanted to, I bought a UW sweatshirt hoodie. I bought a WSU hoodie. I bought a Gonzaga hoodie. So I thought I'm ready because I knew we were going to be going to events and stuff, which would be leaning one way or the other, perhaps. So
good for you, Curt Cruz.
I was going to say that doesn't make me like a particular fan of anybody, but
no, it
sort of wishy-washy. Lisa says she would never buy, even if it was almost free, Miracle Whip.
Here's another one that said, John said he's not buying any of Trump's BS. So we're just saying what people say. And then Randy's was my favorite, actually. Randy's things you would never buy, something that you would never buy, even if it was 99.99% off. And Randy said a child. The maintenance costs are just too high. Plus, you can make them out of stuff found in your own home.
Oh, like maybe your body? Is that what he's saying?
Well, I think, yeah, baby batter. You can make your own baby batter at home.
Thank you for contributing. That was a good last one there from Randy. Appreciate that. He always has something funny to say.
He does. I love it.
Glorious food. We're anxious to try it.
All right.
What we were talking about, there's something on this list that we were just talking about on that last story. Which one was it? It was
the wildest swings between liver and candy corn.
Brussels sprouts. No, so these are foods that have the widest swings between being good and being bad.
Oh, depending on how it's prepared or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna go through this. Watermelon, some people say it's amazing. Some people say it has zero flavor. Salmon, which is my favorite food, but some people are like, no way on salmon. I'm not doing it.
Right. There's a few fruits on here. Peaches are delicious and wonderful, or they could be woody with a mealy disappointment. Also, apples. Some types are legit delicious. Then there's red delicious. Wow, dissing the apples there. And then somebody said Dunkin' coffee. You'll get a great cup or literal garbage.
Here's this one, Curt. This is the one I had in mind. Brussels sprouts. So boiled or steamed, they're disgusting, but roasted are amazing. It's like it's a totally different vegetable.
I might have to try it some other way prepared, because I literally came home one day and I thought that Bella the Beagle had taken a crap in the house, because Dana was making Brussels. She's like, stop making fun. It's like, no, literally, that smells like crap. So,
all right, give us the most influential people.
Oh, the most influential people according to Time Magazine. Okay, do you want some music in between this so we
Yeah,
know
of
it's a new
course,
story?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. You'll never go without music. That's good.
Okay, tell us.
We're gonna have to pick this up a little bit. Actually, we're gonna have to pick it up for sure. Time Magazine had their most influential people out, and there's a bunch on here that see if you agree or you disagree. They broke them down to like the artist section, which is like Ed Sheeran, Scarlett Johansson, Kristen Bell on there, Adam Scott, Rashida Jones, Kristen Wiig from SNL and movies, and Nicole Scherzinger. Hard to say. Used to be in the Pussycat Dolls, and
Oh.
then Hosier. And then they had the icons, Jen.
Oh, yeah. Demi Moore, Eagle star Jalen Hurts,
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Brody, and news anchor David Muir, and
Right.
beauty mogul Bobby Brown.
Then we have the political, not I shouldn't say the political, the government type people. These are, again, most influential people. We have President Trump, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum, Keir Starmer from the UK, the prime minister there. Elon Musk is on that list. Also, J.D. Vance, the vice president, Megyn Kelly, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yep. And then there's other people that they're considered titans: Serena Williams, Blake Lively, Lorne Michaels, Simone Biles, Joe Rogan, and Mark Zuckerberg.
Again, Time's most influential people for this year. Pioneers, it depends on how you say it, either Rose or Rosie. People pronounce it both ways, from Blackpink. And then Miles Smith, who's a British singer. And finally, innovators. The innovators category was Snoop Dogg. What does Snoop Dogg innovate?
I don't know, marijuana.
Okay. That's kind of what I went to right away. Comedian Nikki Glazer and Wicked director John M. Chu. All influential people for 2025. I
Okay.
guess the most influential people, right?
I guess. Okay.
Fun Facts Friday.
Fun Facts Friday. Vlasic Pickles uses a stork as a mascot because pregnant women are known to crave pickles.
I had heard that sometime, I think.
I had not heard
More
that
fun
before.
facts. Hopefully you can use this. Most commonly found items in lost luggage include underwear, women's size 10 pants, men's size 11 Nike sneakers, and iPhones. Don't leave your phone behind. The most static you hear on a radio, is that where you want to go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's caused by a radiation field around Jupiter. So don't touch that dial because we're intergalactic, baby.
I put this in there because it was tax day this week.
Okay.
Ancient 1,900-year-old scrolls have revealed that Imperial Rome did not mess around with tax cheats. If you committed tax fraud, you could be sentenced to public execution where you'd be eaten alive by leopards.
That's how I want to go. Yeah.
I do not.
We knew this. Greenland is icier than Iceland.
Okay. Okay. I asked you earlier before we started the show if you watched the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Right.
Every time DJ Jazzy Jeff was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he wore the same outfit so they could reuse the footage of him getting thrown out of the front door by Uncle Phil and not risk him from getting hurt filming it again.
I did not know that.
Me either.
Is that what makes it a fun fact for Fun Fact Friday?
I guess.
Tiramisu was invented in Italian brothels because they believed it was an aphrodisiac. I don't care if it's an aphrodisiac. I love the tiramisu.
Here's something else a little bit Italian. Well, it's a lot Italian. Around $4,100 worth of loose change is thrown in the Trevi Fountain in Rome, Italy, every single day. And at least during normal tourist times, that is. That's more than $1.5 million a year. So coins are thrown into the fountain. They're collected by the city and donated to Caritas, a Catholic charity. I put this in there because they had this stat about there's more than $1.5 million a year thrown into that fountain. I'm like, where does it go? It's collected by the city, donated to this Catholic charity where the money's used to help social welfare programs like food banks, soup kitchens. I love that.
When you were there in Italy, did you throw change into Trevi Fountain?
No, I don't think I did throw any money in there.
All right. And finally, I like this one. Penguins have knees. We've been talking about penguins lately because, well, you know, penguins have knees. Their legs just look super short because most of the leg bones are covered in feathers, but they do have knees.
There you go.
We do love our Fun Facts Friday for sure.
Tell us about the movies, Curt Cruz.
Well, you want to go see a movie? There are some new movies opening. We've got Sinners with Michael B. Jordan, also The Wedding Banquet. and Sneaks. So not a huge movie opening weekend, but maybe you want to go see one of those three and others.
Sneaks is animated, isn't it? It's PG, but it's animated.
Voiced by Lawrence Fishburne and others. I guess Martin Lawrence is also in there. So might be a fun one. How about what's going on around here for Easter weekend, Jen?
Oh, I've got all kinds of things. The Puyallup Spring Fair is going on through Sunday. It's the last weekend of that. The Skagit Valley Tulip Festival continues. We're getting toward the end of it because I actually saw the tulips. I drove by them and they're really opening up now. So
nice.
I'm guessing and everybody, I don't know about you, Curt, but everybody on Facebook is in the Pacific Northwest is posting photos with the tulips.
That's happened every year, but every year it's not so necessarily such good blooms, right?
Yeah.
How about egg
ahead.
hunts?
Yep.
Tons of them. Special church services, of course, going on Sunday as well. But look for your egg hunts, and not just Sunday. Some egg hunts are going on tomorrow too.
Tomorrow is like when all the big Easter festivities happen, as far as like the egg hunts, the parades, that kind of thing, and then lots of different church services throughout the community on Sunday.
We got back in our radio days. We got to host Bunny Bounce at Woodland Park Zoo a lot. That was fun.
Yeah.
Sakura-Con, the anime festival, is going on at the Washington State Convention Center. Bubble Planet in Bellevue has your immersive experience at feverup.com and Life of Pi.
I was going to say Bubble Planet. I saw this looks cool. It's worth looking up if you want a fun, different experience, because I'm going to go do that. I saw it on the list of things happening. Life of Pi I saw, and it's excellent. If you can see it, it's running through the Paramount through Sunday, and it's fantastic.
Also through Sunday, the Mariners have a homestand against the Marlins. That's tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. If you want to go check out some baseball.
And finally,
anything
Curt,
big going on the weekend for you?
What are you doing?
Well, we've got some dinner with some friends tomorrow night. That is a cat house, so I'm going to have to dope myself up with the old allergy meds, which, by the way, I don't know what's going to help because there's so many allergens in the air right now altogether. Everybody's miserable. But that's pretty much it for the weekend. What about you?
I'm celebrating our good friend Carrie's birthday. We're doing a little girls wine tasting tomorrow, and then Easter I'll do church, and then probably dinner with the fam, and I'll do an egg hunt for the girls. That's all.
Okay. That's all. Well, that's not all for the show.
One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
The question of the day.
I thought about this. I haven't come up with anything yet, other than eating too many carbs.
That's a great one. How are you living dangerously? I think there can be some funny answers with this.
I think so too. Do you have anything? How you're living dangerously, Jen Pirak?
No, I can't think. I'll think of something great. How am I living dangerously? I mean, I go over 60 on as the speed limit.
You go over.
Is that?
I'm not going to say anything about that because yes, it is over 60. All right, let us know how you're living dangerously. We'll have back on Monday with another show, and we'll go over that stuff.
We'll post the question online for you to answer at Facebook. Curt and Jen in the morning on Facebook.
There you go.
We hope you have an awesome weekend. Enjoy the Easter weekend. Happy memory making, make good choices, find joy, spread kindness, and
laugh, people.
It's good for the soul. Thanks for joining us. Have a good one.